it's a good time for the NDC to come back to power, because if the economy is that bad, would you be able to fix it when you return?
We're not definitely going to fix it, but slowly.
Slowly.
We'll fix it in a better way.
Welcome to our second part of our conversation with Mr. Kojo Bonsu. It's been interesting so far. The first part, we talked about his days in Kumasi, growing up in Kumasi, in Tamale as well, and his time in the UK, where instead of going to school, decided to hustle on the streets of the UK, but ended up becoming a very successful man through that. Made a lot of money at a very young age, he says. And we also touch base with his attempt to be flag bearer, the chances of the NDC in the upcoming elections. We're 16 months away or so to a major election. The chances of the NDC, the role that he wants to play when the NDC returns to power. That is, if they are able to, and he's convinced that they will come to power. Mr. Bonsu, thank you once again for your time. We had to continue this because we usually don't get people like you. Are very busy to get. So once we get you, we have to do a two-part series. But let's talk about your business side. A lot of businesses are complaining that this has been very difficult, challenging, period in their existence. The government says this is because of COVID. This is because of the Russia-Ukraine war, and every economy is struggling. You're a businessman. Is it true that this is the most difficult economic climate in your lifetime?
The most challenging, yes. If you talk about Ukraine and COVID, before COVID, we had a lot of business problems.
Okay.
So I wouldn't see why the government always talk about COVID and Ukraine, Russia and Ukraine war. No? It's the way they've handled things.
Okay.
They haven't put their mouth where it fits. They haven't cut their coats according to their size. Unnecessary expenditure that has brought Ghana into the situation.
Okay.
We waste money. So definitely the citizens of this country would have problems.
Are your businesses struggling personally?
Like crazy. My businesses are struggling. Even this morning, I just had a meeting with one. I'm even going to close now.
Really?
Yes.
People are going to lose their livelihoods.
What can I do? Because I cannot have all the problems all the time. And it's all because government has done things a bit differently. NDC in government doesn't do that. We don't spend unnecessarily. I always use this example. If, let's say, you had a rosy job, you're being paid well, and you lose your job. When you come home, you don't want to live the way you were living before. Like, if you have to go back to Kenke and fish and pepper in the morning, no lunch in the afternoon, evening, you have some oats or something to sleep, you'd do it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But this government, just unnecessary expenditure. I see government's convoy, 57 Land Cruisers. You have to quantify the costs of each Land Cruiser by $180,000 multiplied by 12 cities times 57. It's quite crazy. You see, the Queen or Prince Charles moves with only 4 vehicles, with 2 dispatched, 1 in front, 1 at the back. Why can't we do that to save the country money?
All of you do that, both NDC and NPP.
It doesn't matter. If I'm the leader of my party, then it's going to change.
Okay.
Because we have problem. Kids sitting on the floor studying, no decks, nothing for kids. Textbooks has a problem. So why don't we save the money to support them? Then when things get better, yes, we can live lavishly. That's what I believe in.
You say the party food soldiers say it's not you can't say
No,
because
but
you are
if
in
you are
debt.
giving money to Kafu Didi or food soldiers, it doesn't mean that you are buying huge vehicles,
Okay.
flying in aircraft that has beds and bathrooms and everything. It's unnecessary. Those are not, food soldiers' money are not issues that I'm talking about.
Okay.
You have to create jobs for them to be happy. We are not doing it. A minister travels with 15 people to the UK or to America. Why is it so? Whereas COVID that you're using as a problem area has come to show us that you don't need to travel to do business anymore.
Yeah.
Zoom, you could sit down, have the meeting. If it's a contract, they can email the contract to you. If you have to sign, you can sign and courier it. Than to take 10 people to Europe, hotel bills, feeding, per diem, hasn't come. Is it not money saving? Is it not money saving? I will expect an answer from you.
It is, obviously.
Yes. So if we do that, we'll save a lot of money.
Are you also disappointed in the finance minister? He's more or less the one responsible for the economy. Many says.
I mean, I heard he's going to resign after 3 weeks when the World Bank approves the facility, and he's still there. I think he should go.
But he hasn't personally said that.
The president said that on the national broadcast, that after the World Bank meetings and facility, he will leave, and he's still sitting there.
I think it's the MPs his own party MPs who wanted him out are those who were saying that that's what the president
after that, the president had a broadcast, one of the fellow Ghanaians.
The COVID update.
Yeah,
okay.
He said that.
Okay.
That his own people
I don't
are calling
remember,
for
but I want to.
No, they are calling for his head, and he said, okay, let's give him 3 weeks. When he finishes,
wraps up the IMF deal.
Then he'll listen to them.
Okay.
For them to go.
You think it's been a disappointment?
He has.
He also makes the excuse of the COVID and that the first 3 years.
Before COVID, he was messing up.
He says the first 3 years.
That's when they were chopping the money. You know.
Do you think that it's a good time for the NDC to come back to power? Because if the economy is that bad, would you be able to fix it when you return?
We're not definitely going to fix it, but slowly.
Slowly.
We'll fix it in a better way.
Okay.
That one. We always come and fix the system, and they mess it up. When they come, they chop all the money.
They also say the same about you.
No, what do? We have done many things. We have done a lot for this country. When it comes to controlling our economy, making sure the finances are good, NDC is for it.
Okay.
But MPP, they don't even care.
They say they put a lot of money in free SHS, a lot of infrastructure.
Who told them to come and do free SHS?
It was a big campaign promise.
And that is what is killing us.
You think so?
Yes.
You mentioned children not going to school when you went to the north and all of that.
Yes,
free SHS is supposed to go encourage
you give parts of payment, school fees payment, or find a way of handling it.
Okay.
Then you get more people of going to school than to go 100%, as free SHS, tuition free, accommodation free, everything, school uniforms free.
Okay.
So it's something that, you can't do it.
Okay. What would the NDC do differently? Do you know what President Mahama intends to do differently? He's been president before.
Yes, I wouldn't want to talk for him.
Okay.
But I think we all will give him the necessary support to be able to fix this system.
Okay.
And he's doing it already. He's done it many times before, so he can do it.
Let me ask you this question. For a candidate who has only one term, is it a good idea to use him for this election or for him to be the flag bearer?
What I don't want to talk about, it's something that the majority of the delegates or the party people have decided that we need to bring in.
Okay. Even if it is one term?
Yeah. A person like me cannot say no. That is why we tested it. And majority majority loves him.
Okay.
So that argument doesn't come. We've finished the primaries, so let's move ahead and see what would happen.
Okay. What about the role of the vice president or vice presidential candidate? Is it going to be an important decision for the party who becomes the vice presidential candidate?
I don't think so. I mean, in our party, the prerogative of the flag bearer is very important. I mean, he's the one who makes the decision. And I think whatever person or whoever he decides to choose, he'll go and tell the elders of the party and they'll give him the nod.
Do you think that person should be somebody who could carry on from when he's leaving office? Because then the person would have some name recognition.
I think we're going too much
Ahead
into
of
the
us.
future.
Okay.
Let's cross the bridge. Let's get to the bridge, we'll cross it.
Okay. So after the primaries, do you believe that the ranks have been closed? Do you
Oh,
think
yes.
the issues, whether real or perceived, with people like Haruna and people like Muntaka have been resolved?
Oh, I think these are normal things that happen. I
Okay.
think it's been resolved.
You think so?
I mean, yes, I'm sure even on Saturday, Muntaka is doing a unity walk to bring people together.
Okay.
So I think it's something that has been solved. And
Okay.
because we all want to be in power in 2024. So everybody would come on board for us to achieve what we want.
What's your view on this conversation about dual citizenship and the fact that we need to move into an era where it doesn't matter whether you're a dual citizen, one of your MPs, this as in not election, it's as a result of one of these things. What's your opinion on it?
I would want us to shelve it for now because it's a promise and we need to discuss it before we put it in our manifesto.
Okay.
It's not a done deal yet, so let's look at it. I don't want to comment before the time is up.
Okay. When you look at our football, and I want to touch on all your parts, your political part, your business part, and your sports administrator part. You've been a sports person, worked at the National Sports Council, National Sports Authority. When you look at our football now, whether you are a former administrator or still an administrator, what's your impression of our football, our sport in general?
I think they've now looked at it very well. So I'm sure they're now building on how, I like the way Chris Houghton is handling our national side. And let's give him some 2 years and see how he builds the team.
Okay.
I think for now, I'll be rushing to say things. Let's see. The team was very together during the last World Cup, even though we didn't win and cross to the next level. But I believe that the cohesion of the team was good and it could be better from now.
Okay. But that's with the Black Stars. But generally, our sports, I mean, many say
I've heard
politicians do not appreciate the impact of sport on the economy.
Yeah, that is true. I've heard that we're going to host all African Games.
Yes.
But I believe that we should hold on to it. It's waste of money. The country has a lot of problems now. But I believe that we should start training our people. Athletics, boxing is okay. We need to build on it. You know, other things like hockey, we used to be very good in hockey. Table tennis, all is lacking behind now. And we need to build it. We should have a school of excellence. Years back, we used to have the specialist school in Winnipeg.
Yeah, they will never.
But I think we should do a University of Sports Excellence like in Cape Town, Stellenbosch.
Okay.
I think we should do something like that here to train the people. Look at Jamaica. Jamaica is winning all the 100 meters and 400 meters, 200 meters. I think we should build a school of excellence for sports. Then we start training people. We catch them young and we grow.
Okay.
So I think that's what we should do. Sports is lacking behind a lot now. And I believe that in my manifesto, I have that I'll build stadia in most of the 275,
District.
230 districts.
Okay.
I'd want to do that so that people who are not going to school, who have talents, can be trained. Now, if we have a school of excellence sports, the professors or the lecturers would go into all these places to train people. And we have something like what is in Jamaica, Montego Bay, to train our athletes so that we'll be excelling in international
competitions. All right. This is still the Lowdown on GhanaWeb TV with me, Daniel Odro. My guest, Mr. Kojo Bonsu. We've been touching on all the aspects of his life as a businessman, as a politician, and also as a sportsman. He has a lot of experience in all these fields, and we've been touching on them. We'll go for another break. When we return, we'll have about 15 minutes to wrap up our conversation. We'll delve more into the sports aspect because he's attempted to be FA president before, and also his time at the National Sports Authority. The state of our stadia and our sporting facilities was under the care of the National Sports Authority, is under the care of the National Sports Authority. What are the lessons that he learned from there that he can pass on? Stay with us. We're back after this break.
Everyone needs the perfect snack to munch on during a fun moment. Wow. Enjoy the tasty McBerry Twist cupcakes, deliciously baked and packaged for a sweet treat. Premium quality cakes baked with love for all, enriched in butter and milk.
Yummy. Oh,
McBerry Twist cupcakes, simply irresistible. Try one today. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome to the final lap of our interview with Mr. Kojo Bonsu. It's been quite revealing, and I'm sure you are enjoying yourself. And we're about 15 minutes away to complete our interview. Mr. Bonsu, recently I saw on one of the television networks, it calls it, I think it's a Seapond Sports Stadium. It's been left to rot. The Tamale Sports Stadium also left to rot. You worked at the National Sports Authority. That is the custodian of all the sports facilities in this country. Why is it so difficult for us to maintain our facilities?
You see, I believe that, one, we have to commercialize it to be able to run it very efficiently. The government subventions don't come. So the leaders there must think commercially. Otherwise, Ezipon will rot, Tamale will rot. Accra has a lot of activities, so they should look at it commercially.
But even Accra has activities, they struggle with paying ECG. Sometimes the facility is taken off the national grid because they are owing, the grass is not green, the washrooms at the Accra Stadium not in the best of shape.
Yeah. So if you are doing a commercial venture, you have to charge fees that will be able to commensurate with those costs.
Okay.
So I'm sure that is what they are not doing. Because if you hire the stadium for 10,000 to somebody, it wouldn't even finish cleaning. You can't use, the money won't be enough for you to use it for cleaning and making sure the field or the soccer field even works. So you have to charge costs in a way that you'll be able to make profit or even
be, if you like,
be in equilibrium.
Yeah. But what are some of the things that you did at the National Sports Authority?
You see, their mindset was a bit different. So I started training them on how to approach things commercially, how to look at businesses, not to look at that and sit down and sleep on the job and say, government will bring money. No. So I changed the idea so that we can look at it more commercially.
Okay.
So everything must be commercial business so that if government doesn't bring money, we have money to run.
Okay. But why must government not bring money? Government gets money to do other things. Why do we not pay attention to the sport?
You see, yes, it's all about leadership and where money is. It's all about that. So if government sees that he's not getting any good attention there, or he's not doing anything that will help the country, they put the money here. They put it in education or health.
Okay.
You see, but government should also see, maybe because we are not doing well, but if we look at it and invest in it, train people very well, we'll get the rewards.
Okay.
So that thing that hasn't helped the system is that government doesn't see anything happening. Olympic Games, we are not getting any medals.
Yeah.
African Games, we are not getting medals. So,
but we pump money in the Black Stars. millions of dollars.
Maybe Black Stars is seen that everybody is supporting it.
Yeah.
World Cup comes, they do well.
Yeah.
Get to the last time we go to a quarterfinal stage. So, no, the last 2010.
2010.
So that is how they see it. I mean, I cannot speak for government, but that is a problem with all governments. They're not putting money into it.
So in the future, when you become president, this is going to be central. This is going to be an important part of your...
I would want to, you see, for the 4 years, you want to break it up. Your first year, this is what you want to achieve. Second year, like this, So the School of Excellence is mine. I'll do a University of Sports Excellence.
Okay.
So that we would look at it, sit down, put a proper planning. This is what we want to achieve. This is what we want to do. And by the 4th year, we should be able to get, rewards out of.
So this is different from the Universal Sports College. It's not going to be an upgrade or a facelift of the Universal Sports College, but this is going to be a different facility altogether.
It is going to be a different facility. Okay? Like, you call it sports medicine, but I call it excellence.
Okay.
Training of all sports.
Okay.
So you make it like academic.
Okay.
Something like that.
You follow the GFA activities these days. You've attempted to be president before.
Yeah, I do. I follow it once in a while. I listen to what that's going on. I think this present FA has done a bit better. They've opened up things, and let's hope they get well.
Right. So, Ketokreku is seeking re-election again. He's done 3.5 years. He has his critics who say football is at its lowest, but he says he's done an amazing job. How do you look at his work? I mean, have you monitored his work?
I haven't really followed him, but if I'm looking at the National League, if I want to use that to sort of rate his performance, then I'll give him 55.
Okay.
Because you want to make the league interesting so that you can make money, for the clubs can make good money.
Right.
But if an FA cannot do that, as for the national teams, the government always sponsors, they give you money for it, so that one you can perform. But it's the league, that is where the issue is. You have to come up with a crazy plan that can make, we don't want it to be look like the English football, or English FA, or the La Liga, but at least we have to get up to a certain standard. And that is how I measure an FA president, the league.
Okay.
So I'll give him 55%.
So what do you think he can do differently, he can do better? Because because his supporters say the economy this time does not even encourage corporate Ghana to invest, because corporate Ghana itself is struggling. So it is not their doing, it is a reflection of the economy.
So that is why we talk about leadership.
Yeah.
If things are tight, you find ways of going around it.
Okay. Okay.
So that's about leadership. So he should think of doing something good for him to be able to be maintained in the office.
Okay. How about Asante Kotoko? You follow Asante Kotoko?
I do. Recently they brought in a Burkinabe coach.
Yes.
And I saw that it wasn't working.
Yeah.
As for Kotoko, we have too many problems, and I think we should look at that. I think we should develop a serious academy. 3 different academies, 13 to 14 or 15, 15 to 18, plus the national. We have to build academy and groom them very well and have proper plans, because they always want to bring in new people. If you compare Kotoko to El Ali, Mamelodi Sundowns, El Merreikh, even of Sudan, Wydad of Morocco, Tunisia, and the Algerian teams.
Yeah.
I think we haven't done well at club level. And I believe that Kotoko has Olympics, my own team, Tamale Red United, should come up with something good.
So you follow both Asante Kotoko and RTU?
I'm a director of RTU, but I'm a fan of
Asante Kotoko. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your work with Adidas. Did you work with Adidas?
Yes, I did. Quite
How did you end up there? And How did that influence your work as a sports administrator generally in
You
Ghana?
see, Adidas, it's so interesting to work with Adidas.
Okay.
That's one of my most exciting times is working with Adidas. Let me tell you how it all happened. Coach Sunday was coaching Kotoko. I helped him to win the African Cup 83.
Okay.
The jersey they used to win the cup, I gave it to them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was behind them. I was following him I was managing him and doing things. So after we won the cup, he went to Africa Sports in Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
So the owner of Africa Sports, Mes Simplice Sensu, became my friend. And he really called me the Prince of Ashanti. Because he loved Kotoko. So everywhere Kotoko went, he saw me there.
Okay.
So we became very close. Now, he had a very good friend called Bernard Tapé. You know, he was the owner of Adidas at the time.
Okay.
So I saw that Black Stars were playing in jerseys that was sewn at Osu by a gentleman called Mengo. So anytime we played a match, you know, we played the Moroccans or the Egyptians or anywhere, you want to exchange jerseys, it was an issue.
You can't. You have to go and wash it again.
You know, it was an issue. So I spoke to my friend. He said, "Oh, Kojo, I can help you get a deal." I thought he was joking. In his office at that time, he made a call to France and spoke to Bernard Tapé.
This was which year?
This was, I think, 89, 88, 89.
Okay.
Spoke to Bernard Tapé, 87 years, spoke to Bernard Tapé. I was in Abidjan, so he spoke to the man and told him that, look, I have a prince friend who I want him to come and see you in Paris so that you can work out a deal for Ghana soccer. You know. I thought he was joking, so I had a friend, and I speak a little bit of French, so I spoke to the man on the phone and told me that I should prepare and come. So a friend of mine, Mr. Simplice, bought me a ticket straight to Paris from Accra. So I came back to Accra, and I spoke to Mr. Joe Latte, may he rest in peace, and Awuwa Nyamiche at that time.
Yeah, Mr. Nyamiche, yes.
Yes. So I spoke to them, and I'm going to get them a deal. They didn't believe it. So my ticket came, and I flew to France, Paris. When I got there, at the airport, you know, protocol was picking me up. Seeing things different. I said, wow. So they picked me up and told me that Mr. Bernard Tapé is prepared to meet me.
You are the prince from Ashanti.
Ashanti, yes.
Yes,
So Bernard Tapé wanted to meet me, but he has gone for a meeting in Monaco.
Okay.
So we have arranged for a plane for you to go to Nice, and from there they pick you up to Monaco.
Monaco, okay.
So when I went there, everything was done, protocol was arranged, so I get the whole big car, like some big man. In fact, I was really surprised, you know. So when I got there, I had a meeting with Bernard Tapé just for 30 minutes.
Wow.
He called his PA, he called his marketing manager. I still remember the man's name, Jean-Claude Choup. Mm-hmm. He called all the people that, look, Ghana, this is Prince from Ghana. That's how
This Prince thing worked.
It worked. This is a Prince from Ghana. The Ghana national team doesn't have equipment.
Yeah.
They don't wear anything. I'm committed that Adidas should provide equipment, so and so. Bam. So everybody took notes. Said, thank you, sir. So when I was going to my hotel, there was an envelope.
Wow.
Yes. At that time, when I was going, it's French franc.
Yeah.
My envelope was French franc that I should take for my expenditure, everything there. So I
they
stayed.
had to give you some spending money.
He didn't have to.
Yes.
So I stayed there for 3 days. So back and forth, I spoke to the teams, the individual people that, you know. So they said they were building a contract for me that I should take to the FA so that we can
sign
it and that sort of thing. So the third day when I was leaving, I had about 10 bags of Adidas equipment, shoes, everything. They had to even pay excess baggage for me at the airport because, you know,
things were plenty.
Things were too plenty. So what happened was, I came to Accra. I'd sent some sets and everything to Mr. Wenyamche and told them, Jolat, and told them that, look, a contract is coming. So you people should look at it if you're interested.
Yeah.
So in about 2 weeks, so I was dressing every day, Adidas, my polo shirts, my all different type of Adidas, you know. So I got the DK Mr. Adidas.
Oh, okay.
So in about the 3rd week, Mr. Shoup came to Ghana. He had couriered the contract before. Okay. So I had taken it to them. They were happy. Because if you play African Cup of Nations and you are 4th or 3rd, you get some money. Yeah. Semi-finals, you get some money. Finals, you get the money. Winners, you get some money.
Oh, yes.
So it was interesting. And all the junior teams, the Black Stars, the Black Meteors, Satellites, Starlets, everybody gets equipment when they are going to play. Yeah. You know, and I still think that Ghana should have done a lot for me because I was able to solve that problem of equipment.
Wow.
So the contract was signed, and I was also giving the permission to be representing Adidas in the whole West Africa. Wow. So all the clubs, like the Ivorian team, the Nigerian team, but they switched to Nike, Niger, Senegal. So I was moving around West Africa, making sure that every team...
Just a deal for Ghana now made you
do that thing.
Yeah.
So it was so interesting. And it was... Adidas is a company that if you work for... I had a credit card, American Express, black one, the platinum.
The black one, yeah.
That's what I was moving around with.
Wow.
And I could spend anything sensible, then they pay for it. So it was a good company. I really enjoyed working with them. So that is how Ghana got Adidas equipment, you know.
Wow.
And our first jersey was, we had to use normal shelf jerseys for some time. After Senegal 92, then they designed a special jersey for Black Stars. That's what the frill that you see Abedi Pele used to wear. They designed 3 different jerseys. In fact, 4 different jerseys continuous every term, every season and every season. We had good jerseys, good equipment, you know. So it's something that was very interesting.
Wow.
And I really enjoyed that part of my life with Adidas.
You've played your part as far as Ghana football is concerned, and I'm sure Ghana is grateful. And it's good that we tell this story.
Are they?
It's good that
we tell grateful?
This story. I think they are.
Yes, I mean, we went to Tunisia, African Cup of Nations, Senegal. That one we went to finals. That is the finals that
Abedi Pele couldn't play.
Yeah, couldn't play. Yes, yes. And we went to South Africa '96. We went to Tunisia. We went to Egypt. We went to a lot of places. I mean,
wow.
It's quite interesting.
Anyway, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
I thank you so much for having me. Viewers, this is part of my life.
Thank you. Thank you. We're grateful. I'm sure you've learned something that you didn't know about Mr. Kojo Bonsu. He's a man of many parts. When I started my introduction, that's what I mentioned. A businessman, a politician, a sports administrator, and now you know all the things that he has done in all those facets of his life. A hustler in the UK as well, and a prince, an unofficial prince of Ashanti. My name is Daniel Odo. I hope you had a wonderful time. We're back another time with another edition of The Lowdown on GhanaWeb TV. Bye for now.